Today I'm taking a look at the BumbleBee HIVE, which I purchased from the Southern Ukulele store for £39.99. This is a soprano ukulele mostly made of a matte black plastic with the exception of the laminate wood top, which comes in a variety of matte finish colours, and the metal gears of the tuners. The frets are also listed as being metal on the Southern Ukulele store website, but I can't find confirmation of this, and I'm not entirely convinced that they are. From what I can tell, the outer area of the frets are part of the plastic mould of the fretboard, and they have a silver material that forms the centre and main part of the frets. This could just be a reinforced coating over a plastic fret, or it may be a metal insert, but they don't look or feel like the traditional metal frets you would normally see on a ukulele. What I can say is they feel smoother and of a bit of a higher quality than the plastic frets on my flight travel ukulele. The construction appears to consist of one piece of plastic for the back, sides, neck and headstock with a laminate top dropped into the sides. The plastic fretboard is attached to the neck, overlaying the body slightly, and a plastic head plate is fitted to the single slot headstock with rear facing open gear tuners fixed to the sides. The nut is 37mm wide and is part of the fingerboard mould. There are 12 frets as well as a 0 fret and white painted on position markers and side dots at frets 5, 7 and 10. The bridge is slotted with a straight top saddle. There is no logo on the headstock, and it has a cute but rather cheap looking sticker in the sound hole with the brand and model name on it. It comes with Aquila strings. It doesn't specify the type of strings. They appear to be white nail gut, and despite these not being my favourite strings, they seem to suit the ukulele fairly well. It doesn't come with a gig bag. It also does not have a strap button. So there is good and bad with this ukulele. Unfortunately for me, I think the worst thing about it outweighs a lot of the good, but we'll get to that. The intonation is good, the action is comfortable. This could be due to the fact that it's got a 0 fret, which helps to level things off quite nicely, but the Southern Ukulele store also looked this over and made sure it was set up correctly before it left the store. There are no sharp frets, but that is to be expected given the way it's constructed. The frets don't reach the side of the fretboard. I suspect these position markers which are painted on will wear away over time. For the most part it does well on appearance. I think it looks cool, and you can see the wood grain if you look close enough. I like the shade of the blue, it's easy on the eye. Some of the paint has bled into the side of the sound hole, which makes it look a little bit messy, but it's a very minor thing. And other than that, I can't see any flaws in the finish. I did wonder in my unboxing video if there was a scuff in the finish. What it appears to be is just small particles of the painted finish rubbing off, just a few particles here and there, and as soon as you brush them away, it's fine. You can't see any blemishes left behind. Since the body design is quite clearly based on another well-known ukulele, it's nice to see that they've went for something a bit different with the headstock, and I think that looks nice, and I like that they've put rear facing tuners on as well. Now I have noticed some very fine scratches appear in the back just after playing for a few days. They are very, very fine. You need to look quite closely to see that, but it does make me wonder how it's going to hold up over time. It might be quite prone to picking up scratches. It's a cheap ukulele and I don't really mind that. The tuners seem quite decent. They seem to hold the tuning well. It's hard to tell 100% on this because the strings are still settling in, but certainly over the few days I've been playing it, the tuning's been holding more and more. So I think it's a good indicator that they're decent and they're going to work. For the price, and considering it is a plastic ukulele, I think it does fairly well on the sound. The sustain isn't great, but it's not terrible either. Not too bad. It's quieter than some other ukuleles. Personally, I don't mind that too much, and it has quite a mellow sound. It has a fair amount of clarity across the strings, but it could be clearer. I wonder if I put some clear fluorocarbon strings on it, if that would help with the clarity a bit. It is a bit thin sounding, but again, it's a cheap plastic ukulele. I think it's actually a fairly nice, pleasant sound. It just depends what you're looking for, really. But now I'm going to come to the thing for me that, well, it makes me sigh. It's this very thick neck profile. Not only is it quite thick to begin with, it actually gets thicker as we go down, and it's got quite a substantial heel. It's actually reasonably comfortable if you're playing lower down the fretboard, but playing higher up is where I am at least having some issues. Not when you're playing individual notes, but if you're trying to play bar chords, probably from about halfway to higher up. In my opinion, this is a design flaw. What I would really like to see is for BumbleBee to bring out more ukuleles like this, but refine this version of it. Slim down that neck profile drastically. If possible, make the heel a little bit smaller as well. Add the strap button and include the gig bag. Just makes it easier for the customer. You know, I wouldn't mind paying a bit more, like 40 quid isn't really bad for a ukulele that looks cool, that has good intonation, that stays in tune, that sounds fairly good. I think this would still suit a beginner. I think it could potentially hinder progress to intermediate level and beyond, because it's going to be more difficult to start playing bar chords, to start playing higher up the fretboard. It's not impossible, but it's just easier on other ukuleles. BumbleBee market this towards beginners and children. Now, if it's a small child, I would probably recommend looking elsewhere, just for the fact that their hands are going to be very small and they might find this neck a bit harder to play on. If they're a bit older, then they might actually get on okay with it. I think it would also work well, you know, for someone that just wants something cheap to travel with. Also just for something to hang on the wall that's going to look cool and that is actually also playable. And if you don't mind a thick neck profile, then maybe you'll get on better with it than me. And I do think it does do some things well at this price point. I think I'll keep it a bit longer, play it a bit more, see how I get on with it. But I'm thinking I might sell it and use the funds to put towards another ukulele that I can review in the future. I'm now going to film a comparison video between the BumbleBee HIVE and my flight travel ukulele, so I will link that video if you're interested. But in the meantime, I hope you found this one useful. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you again soon.